So we've always had a strong sort of involvement in mapping all our projects right from back when we were using, the handwritten maps through to sort of, I suppose, our mapping portal now, which is the latest. But being able to, the beauty of the mapping portal as we have it now is that everybody can use it.
The NRM Planning Portal is being used by local Landcare Groups and networks to share their knowledge and their information about their local area and bring it up into the spatial mapping portal. And the catchment management authorities are using the planning portal to bring their information and their regional information and into that one same space.
The portal is a planning platform. That's the way I see it. It looks like a website, but it's not. Most websites, you can hang information on it, and it's just a one-dimensional piece of, I suppose, a source of information. Whereas the planning portal, it shoots out everywhere. It grabs information from everywhere.
We're working with a group called the Woady Yaloak Catchment Group, and they've supplied us data to bring up into the system, and we can display that. So if I bring up the group boundary, you can see that that's the Woady Yaloak's area of interest, and you can see straight away that they're still got the CMA's regional priority waterways highlighted there. You can straight away see that there's some priorities from the CMA in their region. But what the Woady has done and helped us with is bring their information up in terms of what they've been doing in the past as well, in terms of their own land care activities and their own NRM work.
No tree guards, so there's no rabbits?
No, there's no rabbits down here. Biggest problem he's had is kangaroos. Just playing with the trees and just being destructive.
Yep.
So this is the Narringal Creek, which is a major tributary to the Woady Yaloak River. Obviously that's our main river. And the landholder here, Evan and Suzanne Lewis, this is their property and they're doing a project to protect and enhance their waterway. So the first thing is to fence out the waterway and then they're planting it up to preserve the beautiful old red gums that are here, and then planting it out with extra vegetation to try just enhance that riparian environment. So the Woady Yaloak project is over 20 years old now, and a lot of landholders like the Lewises have been involved for most of that time, and they've steadily been working on projects. So yes, it's not something that you just do one year, and most of our farming community are fantastic in that they have stayed with the projects through thick and thin, and just continually building up the projects. And we're now getting to that happy situation where you're actually talking to landholders, and we've been doing planning meetings in the last week and talking to them about what, do you want to do any tree planting or do you want to do this? And they're saying, oh, I think I've got most of my trees planted. So, after 20 years, really starting to see that they're starting to achieve some of the goals that they're wanting to get out of Landcare. So we map all our projects, and that's recorded on the mapping portal. You can look at any of the works that we've done across 20 years and see them. You open up the map and suddenly you turn on where all the trees are, and it's really, really visual. But you can also look at things like, what are our priorities? So each year our community they do a simple planning every year, and then they do a more complex planning every 5 years where they're looking where they want to go, and we put all that on the maps. And we can then look at that in conjunction with the CMA, who also have their own priorities, and look at, well, where are the overlaps? And straight away we can talk with the likes of the CMA and say, well, look, here's a visual representation of what our community wants. There's what you want. Let's see where we've got some synergies and some overlap.
Natural resource management can mean a lot of things to different people, and that's one of the beauties of it and one of the bad things about it, I suppose. But to me, it's about learning about how our natural assets, our native veg, our wetlands, our waterways, soil, how it functions, what its threats are, coming up with the right solutions, the right actions to address those threats, and making a journey with both, the experts, the scientists, but also the land managers who essentially will have to manage those assets. One thing, a lesson learnt that we've learnt that's come from this is it's been a really great engagement tool. So it's been a really good medium for both Landcare and the CMA to look at what each of our priorities are, and seeing that there's a lot of common areas that we both want to work in.
We all use it at different levels, but it's immediately something that everyone can interact with. So the CMA can look at it, they can add data, we can look at it, we can add our own data, we can look at other Landcare networks that are on it. The general public can go onto our website or the CMA website and click on and go, well, what's Woady Yaloak doing? And let's zoom in and have a look at Werneth and see what projects are being done there.
And combining that with the spatial element, so as a planning tool, so GIS, it's a very, very good way of looking at a landscape like this and prioritising where to do works and invest in.
That's how projects like this came about, by just looking at that and going, well, here's some waterway projects that are out in our priority zone, and that fits in with the sort of priorities that you want to have. It opens it up, and it also, when you're sitting planning with landholders and you can take it from their individual level to zoom it out, they get that appreciation that, well, yes, what I'm doing up here is going to have an impact, 100 kilometres away on someone else further down the catchment.
From both sides learning about how to engage properly, we're getting sites like this revegetated and enhanced and hopefully protected for future generations.
And you can look at it in conjunction with not just Evan and Suzanne's project, but what the neighbours are doing and upstream and downstream. So it sort of gives you a much bigger appreciation of how a project fits into the whole landscape, and how it meets the different needs of the local community, but also what our funding bodies want as well.